Hey y'all, come on in. Welcome back. Well, Miss Tamara, what do you say we put some color on this thing? You ready for that? What I'm going to do, I'm using a product called Super Shene. It's a sealer. And that's what it does. It'll seal the top layer of the leather. But I want your name to stay as light, as close to this light color as I can. So I'm going to come in with a brush first. And I'm going to apply 2 coats of it to your name. And what that'll do, I do just 1 coat with a brush, and then I have a wool dauber then that I do the others, or that I coat the whole thing with. But putting 2 coats on will keep it pretty much the natural color. I don't have to be just real careful with this, because I'm going to be doing the whole thing with a dauber. But I just want to make sure that your letters for your name get 2 coats on them, because I want them to stay, like I said, pretty much this natural color. But you don't want to have 2 coats on the rest of your project, or wherever those 2 coats are, it's going to be lighter than what the rest of it will be. So to get you even coating, or get the even coloring, then I'll just come in with a brush. I use this Super Shene for pretty much everything. That's what you're doing then, is, like I said, you're just actually sealing that top layer. Helps them last a long time. You can see how it turning a little darker as it soaks in, but it won't be too much darker. What I'm going to be using for the color will actually be a stain, a leather stain. And I'll show that to you here in just a second, after I get this done. But it's time to put color on this project. I had to set you off to the side. I'm sorry about that, because I got to get right up in here close and personal with it while I'm working the brush. while I'm working the stain. I gotta have lots of room to be able to move it around. But you can see how where it's dried, it's almost returned back to the natural color. Be a little bit darker, but not too much. We are fixing to bring it to life, add some background to it. I think Judy said she'll have the liner finished today. So I'm hoping that we can start the assembly on it tomorrow, maybe, is my plan. We're not that far away now, Miss Tamara. Getting pretty close. This is where most of your time goes on one of these projects, is in the layout, the tooling, and then you gotta let it dry. But once you get past this phase of it, then it generally starts going along pretty good. But you do not want to rush it. I encourage everybody that if you have a day where you just don't feel like messing with it, if you're not in the mood to, then don't touch it. Because if your heart's not in it, then you're running a real good risk of messing something up, and then you have to go back and do it again. As stated before, this is the one hobby where once you get it wet, then it is a done deal. So if you get tired, or you just don't feel like working on it that day, it's much, much better to just not even mess with it. A few other leather carvers out there, or if you're getting into the hobby. That's just my personal preference. But I'll go out to Walmart and I'll buy me a 5 or 6 sacks of those disposable paintbrushes. Because unless it's going to get used for the adhesive or something like that, and for me it's a one-time use. Because if you have, especially if you're working that leather dye, you wind up with 5 or 6 brushes out here on your table at the same time. You're not going to remember which brush went to what color. Next thing you know, you're blending colors. Let's see, let me get a wool dauber back here. And that's all these are. These just, you can get a sack of them at Tandy. But back to those paintbrushes, sir. You can get like 1,000 of them for $1.50 or $2 or something like that. Very inexpensive for a safeguard. And we'll get some super sheen on our dauber. And we'll just start coating it. Make sure you get down in all your crevices. All your little tooling areas. We want to get a good healthy coat on it. That way when I put that stain on it, and the only place that stain's going to stick will be down in all those little crevices. It'll darken your project some, but it won't be near. You'll see what I mean. It won't be near what now if you'll watch your letters now that I've already put one coat on, they'll stay lighter than what the other does. For a little bit anyway. I mean, super sheen will soak up underneath them a little bit. What we're doing is we're sealing that top layer of the leather, and That way it'll help preserve it for a very, very long time. I think in my other video I stated that wallet that I retired, I turned 26 years old. Started getting more broke out than it was broke in, so it was time for a new one. Now we'll set this piece off to the side. Because now that super sheen has to dry. Oh, move it back a little bit. While it's drying, it thankfully doesn't take very long for it to dry. So I still think I can get the color on one piece of it for you so you can see how that works. But it's a process. Oops, sorry, I didn't mean to bump you. It is a process. I will tell all of my customers, no matter what it is, that it's going to take me 3 weeks to do it, because you're seeing firsthand. Of course, this is a bigger project, you know, there's more involved in it. And then the things that we're adding to it, like the liner and stuff for you. But give yourself room, give yourself time. That way you don't have to try to rush it. A whole lot less likely to make a mistake. And then too, if you do happen to make a mistake, and even if you have to completely redo one piece, then you're still within your timeline. But this is good stuff to keep anything from, and of course, you know, it's like anything, over time it'll have stuff get into it just like anything else will. But at least doing this will keep it pretty for a long time. Ask your sister if she wants a purse. Let me know. Start getting some ideas. And I'll be more than happy to make her one too. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to do that third piece because I had to go back and re-wet it this morning to do some other things to it that I wanted to. Now we'll let that piece dry. I'll show you what I did on that piece last night there. What I forgot to do, or what I missed, was this one leaf petal right here. I didn't have it tooled. No, I don't know how I missed it or not, or so, but. And then too, these little decorative cuts that are in here, that's done with a swivel knife. And I was just getting too tired last night to mess with that, because if I were to have slipped, one of those cuts go where I didn't want it to go, then I'd be making this whole piece all over again. That's what I mean by when you get tired or you're not in the mood to work on it, then put it down. Alright. Set this one over there and let it dry now. We'll see how this one's doing. Looks like we're doing okay. I'm going to need to go get a wet paper towel. I forgot to do that. So let me go do that and I'll be right back. Hold on. Rosie, what are you doing? Okay. This stain that I'm going to be using, let me get my microphone back on. Alrighty, this stain that I'm going to be using is a water base. Called Phoebing's Antique Finish. And there's all kinds of different colors. But for yours, Miss Tamara, I'm going to do the use mahogany. And think it'll give you more of the color effect that you were looking for. Give that super sheen a little bit more time to dry. That's looking pretty good up here. Then down in these areas here, it's still a bit too wet. That super sheen, it doesn't take it very long to dry, so you can generally go into your coloring pretty quickly. I wanted to show you this too, Miss Tamara. I don't know whether you can make it out or not, but right there, at the tip of my finger, when I was tooling this part of it, I just had a tool that just slipped out of my fingers and it just tapped that leather. That's all it did. It just kind of bounced on it. But it left its mark. And it's there. All right. Oh, come on, dry out enough so I can demonstrate this. I really, really want to. See what the other piece looks like. I don't want to rush that, especially where your letters for your name is. I want to give that lots of time to dry. This back piece here I can kind of get away with it a little bit, but I want to make sure your letters all stay very consistent. Not have any darker places in them or anything like that. I'm going to let it dry just a little bit longer. This video is going to be a little bit long, but I wanted to show you this. This is on the back side, so I may fudge it a little bit, but I'm not going to mess with any of that that's on the front part. Yeah, I believe we're getting pretty close to where we can demonstrate it to you. So here we go. I'm going to put some stain on it. Now don't freak out on me, Miss Tamara, because it's gonna, I think it's gonna get pretty gooey, but it won't. Am I even in the camera? Oh, here you go. What you do is you just come in with your dauber and you just start working it into your design. Make sure you get all down inside every one of those little crevices. You still able to see? Yeah. I didn't want to have to make a short video on putting the super sheen on and then having to wait for another video to do the stain. So I'm kind of crowding this process a little bit, but I think we'll be just fine the way it looks. This will give you that little bit of a antique look that you liked in that picture. And the first thing we use now is a dry towel. And we come in and we just start mopping the excess off of it.
Okay, I'm going to go to the excuse me, I'll go to the bed. I'll go to the bedroom.
Now that we have that done, then these are what the wet paper towels do. You come in now with them. And just come back across your project. Not real happy with how I did up here, so see if I can blend this a little bit better. And then I'll let this dry. Just kind of give it a once over and make sure you got all your areas. And then that's how we color your backgrounds. And what I'll do now is I'll let that stain dry, and then I'll come in with another coat of super sheen then, and I'll reseal, and then that'll lock that stain in place. But that's how we do it, Miss Tamara. That's how we get the background and the colors that you liked. So I'll get these other pieces done, and then when we get ready to do the liner, then we'll start there. So as always, don't be mean. If you're not willing to treat Jesus that way, then let's not treat each other that way. We're here to have fun, make some stuff out of leather, make people happy. So anyway, until next time, adios.